wore the Roman Reigns t-shirt for Roman Reigns, who played here. Chris Vanini wrote a really good article about his experience here and some of the bonds and relationships he has on our current staff and when he was a player here. And so it's a really big deal. The global WrestleMania world champion, pretty cool. Scrimmage on Saturday, a ton of thud work. You guys were there. Guys got a lot of good work in, a lot of competitive situations that we put them through. I'm glad that you guys got to be out there and see it. Heard Mike Flynn got you some donuts, so hopefully those were good. And then any questions as follow-ups, I know Coach Lou Corral, our head strength coach, hopped on Saturday because my wife and daughter had a birthday thing set up for me, so he did the honors and did a great job. We had 120 former Georgia Tech football players in attendance on Saturday and their families. The last part of the scrimmage, they got to come down and be on the field, see our guys firsthand. One of my favorite moments of the day was when Joe Hamilton and Jeff Sims got to have a bonding moment. You know, Joe, when I was here, finished second in the Heisman Trophy voting. His senior year, was a tremendous player, represents Georgia Tech the right way, and is a popular radio figure for us, and we're just really proud of him. It was really good to see those two get to bond, after the scrimmage. But with that, I'll play off with the questions you guys have about Saturday or about the guys that have done a really nice job throughout the spring.
Thanks, Coach. We'll go ahead and take questions now. If you have a question, please use the raise hand function within Zoom. And our first question will come from Kelly Quinlan from Rivals.
Hey, Geoff. It seems like the defensive end position is getting pretty much to where you want it physically. I've been impressed in what we've been able to see from both the young guys coming back and then also a guy like Kevin Harris who you added. Can you kind of just talk about where that room is right now?
Yeah, I think we've talked about ever since we got here the length and the speed that we want, especially coming off the edge and really on the whole football team. And you see that in display every single day. And I think, some of the guys that stood out toward the end of last year, Jared Ivey, who's, 6'5", 6'6", played as a true freshman. Kyle Kennard, again, is 6'5", 6'6", played at a high level for us toward the end of the year last year. Antonius Clayton, so proud that he's back with us. Just a tremendous person, high character, work ethic, relentless in every single thing that he does. One of my favorite things the other day, him and Marco Coleman came into my office after he had just got fitted for his cap and gown. And I'm just excited for him to get his degree from one of the top 4 academic schools in the country, and he's earned it. The way he goes about his business is so impressive. And then Kevin Harris has come in here and done a great job buying into the culture, understanding how he fits in, and just relentlessly working every single day. Josh Robinson is a kid that came in at the mid-year, local Atlanta guy. And he's another 6'5", 6'6", 260+ pound defensive end as a true freshman. And I'm just excited about his development along our defensive front.
Next question comes from Ken Segura from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
Hey, Geoff. At the beginning, you talked about attention to detail, and it's something that coaches and players have followed suit in mentioning. And I'm curious, kind of, have you seen progress, measurable progress, discernible progress in that realm?
Yeah, so one of my favorite parts. So we track penalties every single day. We have ACC officials out to every single practice. Usually it's about 7 to 8. We've had upwards of 10 officials out to a practice. Saturday's scrimmage was the fewest amount of penalties we've had all spring. We make a huge emphasis in it. Every single day at the end of practice, I get a sheet with every single penalty that we had that day, the names, what the penalty was. I read them out in front of the entire team, have educational pieces along with it. There's really good dialogue each and every play. When there is an infraction, pre-snap, post-snap, or within the play, and just the awareness is really heightened. And I think we've gotten better. You go in our facility at any juncture in our football facility. It's a list of the penalties per day, per young man. There's a list per position, how many for how many yards. So there's a huge emphasis. We have to fix that. Have to fix giving up the ball and turnovers, and just the attention to detail and the emphasis that we've placed on it. And the leaders in our program have embraced it, and making sure that we're holding each other accountable and making sure it's a priority every single day.
Next question comes from Rod McKenzie from 247 Sports.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, Geoff. The chocolate donuts were on point, by the way.
Yes, sir.
I was wondering, a lot of the players have talked about their excitement about being able to come out here for spring practice after all they went through last year with the COVID and the restrictions and so forth. Do you notice a difference in the way they're out there practicing?
Yeah, so one of my favorite moments today, we got out here early and we were doing our pre-practice position meetings and all those kind of things. And we did a couple of walkthroughs. Then we went to flex. And then I called up the front row of flex that changes every single day. And I said, hey, due to some scheduling deals, we've got to just go almost immediately into playing football today. And they were so fired up. There was genuine excitement that we were just going to come out of the gate and play football. And they did a really good job competing, protecting each other. And just this group, this team is getting closer and closer every single day. I think Lou Corral and our strength staff did a great job with our guys getting them ready this offseason. We got enhanced or increased meeting times with them this offseason as well, weekly leadership meetings so we can come together and bond. And, it's an exciting time. Really like the demeanor and the attitude and the attention to detail of this team. And we just got to continue to build on it for the last few practices and throughout the summer and preseason camp as well.
Another question from Kelly Quinlan from Rivals.
Hey,
Hey, Geoff, you have a new left side of your offensive line this spring, and I'm just curious what you're seeing from guys like Devin and Austin Smith,
Sure.
who's been a guy other guys have talked about kind of stepping things up, Coach Lou.
Yeah. So, and Brent Key, we move guys around throughout the spring, mix and match different lineups. I don't think we've had the same center in back-to-back practices with the first group yet. He keeps moving guys around, seeing what interchangeable parts we have, seeing what position flexibility that we have. But, I think we've got some really good length. We've got some, our size has increased, and you just see the confidence that our guys are playing with. We had some gap schemes in today that got some movement on the down linemen, the interior guys, and that's been a point of emphasis for us throughout the offseason. The guys are still out here, which is really cool. They love playing ball. They love football. They love being around each other. So I'm sorry, I just got distracted there, Kelly. But it's a good group to be around. Just the size increases. I think that's some of the biggest things that our legends brought up on Saturday is just how the position groups have been developing since we got here through recruiting, through weightlifting, and the cultural elements too, that our guys have embraced how we do things is really exciting, fun to be around.
Another question from Ken Segura from the AJC.
Hey, Ken.
Hey, Geoff. Over the weekend, I'm sure you were aware, UCF, they trotted out there, putting Twitter handles on their plates, which I think you've done a while back as well. And Florida State had some news. And I'm curious, kind of, how do you feel like you're set for, if and when that comes around with the NIL legislation with the NCAA?
Yeah, sure. So that was it came up a bunch on social media, and I think Kevin Nagandi, who's one of the top reporters at ESPN, anchors on ESPN, brought up the fact that we did it when I was at Temple. Diablo or Kana Avizosis did a great job putting the Twitter handles on the back of our jerseys then. That was year 2 there. We were planning on doing it last year, year 2 here, but then COVID hit. But anything that people and other programs try to do to increase the brands of their players. We try to do that as well. So I'm not worried about who's first or anything like that. Just we try to make sure that is a focus in our program, the cultural element, the brand recognition for our program and for our players. I think we were the first program to have a brand manager when we were at Temple, and now we brought the brand manager position here to Georgia Tech. We were the first school to partner with Jeremy Darlow, who wrote the book Brands Win Championships, and Players Are Brands Too. So we partnered with him, and now he's gone on to help some other programs as well, so that our players can learn in this day and age of, name, image, and likeness, how to position themselves and set themselves up to make sure they're aligning themselves and promoting themselves. And we try to do that as well. We were one of the first schools to partner with Influencer. And what Influencer does is it's an app that lets our guys have access to every single photo that we take at practice, we take at games, and we take at workouts. Within 30 minutes, Kelly or Ken, of the workouts or practice being over, there's 700 to 800 pictures of the practice or of the weight training session that our guys can rip and put on their social media accounts. That is a big deal to us. The number of cameras that we have out at practice every single day, the content creators from local that come out to practice to shoot and give our guys access to their images so that they can then promote it. The other piece that I think is in our DNA is we were one of the first programs to tag our players in all social media posts. That is a big deal to me, to us, to make sure when we promote something, we actually promote the player with their tags. And not all the programs do that, but that's something that we make a big deal of. Us in Oklahoma were the first two schools to partner with J1S, which is another marketing branding company, one of the tops in the country in this space of college athletics. Santino Stancato, who I affectionately refer to as Morpheus, he's gone to work with them, but also manages our account as well. And so those kind of things, we try to be at the forefront of all of it, because it's important to me that our student athletes are positioned to have great success when they leave here, to amplify their voice while they're here, all those kind of things. Another piece, Ken, too, is the assistant coaches. We've got some amazing assistant coaches, including our head strength and conditioning coach. We try to make sure that our assistant coaches have a chance to be in front of you guys and learn how to deal with the media, how to have a press conference, how to do those kind of things, because they do so much for our program. They do so much for our players. It's incumbent upon me to put them in position to prepare them when they're in positions to be a head coach or to run a program or to be in front of the media, that they've been able to navigate that as well. So those things, making sure that we can do that for our assistant coaches, make sure we can do that for our players. That's at the forefront of every single thing that we do. And the last piece, Ken, about positioning is we're in Atlanta. The culture, the entertainment, arts, music, fashion that is our city positions us very well in this marketplace, in the next step of college football and college athletics as a whole. We embrace it. We love being in the city of Atlanta. We love being in the 404, having one of the top 4 academic schools in the country, and being able to be positioned to increase our brand visibility and the brand visibility for our players as well is very, very important. Ken, I apologize for such a long answer.
Is that all I had to say on the matter?
What's that, bud?
Is that all I had to say on the matter? I was hoping for more, actually. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Another question from Rod McKenzie.
Hey, Geoff, the fans are going to see a lot of new faces in the linebacker room this year.
Yeah.
With Quez Jackson being the one
Yep.
main holdover. What are you seeing from that group as far as we have a couple of freshmen that are
Sure.
into their second year of transfer and an early
Yep.
enrollee?
Yep. So let me first mention David Curry. what he has done for our program, what he has done for that linebacker room for the last 2 years. He will have a pro day tomorrow. So it'll be a makeup. He'll have one right out here tomorrow morning. Excited for him and what he's done for our program. Quez Jackson played at a very high level last year. Charlie Thomas returns, playing more of a will position like he did the first year that we were here. And he has done a tremendous job, him and Quez, the young men that they have developed into since we've been here. I could go on and on how proud I am, the attention to detail, the focus, the work ethic, all of those things they're doing at a very, very high level. I think Ace Ely has come in as a transfer and done a tremendous job just with work ethic, energy, focus, and just a presence in that room. It's got a really good vibe. 2 young guys that played sparingly last year, Tyson Miguez and Katavian Franks. They're having really good springs. Trinelius Tatum is a young man that came in as a mid-year high school guy. And he has pop, he has a physicality to him, tremendous movement skills, and he is picked up pretty quickly with the leadership of those guys to be able to step in and contribute for us. All 6 of them should be key contributors on special teams as well. But it's a really good group, and excited how they interact with each other, how they push each other, how they compete with each other. But then they'll pile in there and try to help each other as well. It's a really good room.
Another question from Kelly Quinlan.
Geoff, the dead period appears to be ending finally, mercifully for everyone involved.
Right.
Just kind of what's your approach going to be? And I guess the excitement level of not being able to host kids officially or even unofficially on campus since, last March.
Yeah. Patrick Suttis, our general manager, and our whole recruiting staff, Karina Hargraves, Thomas Greery, they've got things set up. We've got tentative plans for camps. We've got tentative plans for official visits. We have dates set. We have things set for whenever we get the green light, we're ready to go. Obviously, I can't talk about who's coming when, but we've got official visitor slots put in place. We're ready whenever we get the green light to go, and also still being fluid and flexible enough to make any adjustments that we need to make as well. But excited to get to see recruits again. We got I don't know if it's luck or preparation or a little bit of both. The guys that we were able to get here mid-year have been tremendous cultural guys. They fit into what we do, how we do, the attitude, the mindset, the work ethic, all of those things. And, just excited about finally getting to be around, some recruits and having them on campus and see our culture firsthand.
Okay, we'll have time for a couple or a few more for Coach Collins. We'll start with another one from Ken.
I was curious kind of how things look with your specialists. I think we've seen Jude and Steven out there. I was wondering if Gavin was still kicking and how punting is looking with Austin also.
Yeah, so we've been focused a lot on fundamentals and technique and attention to detail and all those things. A lot of drill work, so kickoff drill work, kickoff return drill work. Punt coverage is about the only thing that we've done where we do a full team of punt coverage and punt protection, those kind of things. But everything has kind of been segmented as far as the special teams go, and that's typically how we do it in the spring. And so they've done a nice job with that and continue to develop. And we've got some guys that'll get here late May, early June at those spots as well.
And we'll go ahead and wrap up with one last one from Rod McKenzie.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, Geoff. When you look at the secondary, you have familiar names that have been here 3-4 years.
Yep.
But you also notice that you seem to be developing some good depth behind those guys. Can you talk a little bit about what you've seen there?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a really good group. I think they've done a really nice job this offseason of becoming one secondary. There were times that were frustrating for me, that we were a collection of corners sometimes, we were a collection of safety sometimes, and not always a defensive back unit, a secondary unit. And I think that the leadership of Wanye and Tariq, Tobias Oliver, Trey Swilling, Wesley Walker has played a ton of ball. They've made it a point of emphasis to make it one secondary, because there's some really good players on the back end that can really affect the game, and just excited for them to continue that development, the relationships, the bonds. They're highly competitive. They're highly talented, but making sure that at the end of the day, we are one secondary, and they've got a chance to be a really, really good group, playing together, playing as one. And that has been a huge emphasis this offseason. Coach Burton, Coach Popovich have done a really nice job meeting together, doing a lot of things together to make sure that happens. So excited just to continue to see that build. Derrick Allen is another young man that's come on, playing a couple of different positions on the back end. And so excited to see him continue to develop, because he started playing at a really high level toward the end of the season, and he's picked up where he left off throughout the spring. So there's some really good players on the back end. Just got to be able to play as one all day, every day.